Back.
Welcome back. Fruitaloo, as Sam would say, to the Gridiron. It's mock draft number 6. Got Gabriel here. Gabriel Madrid, hailing from Seattle. And we're going to do something funky here. We're going to manually set every single player. We're going to take full control of the draft.
Yeah, the power is in our hands.
So this is basically, essentially, this is our top 100 whatever rankings, right? We're ranking every player in terms of where we think they should fall, with the caveat that we're also doing team construction for every single one of these teams. So essentially what we're trying to do is make the most competitive league possible, as in we want every team to be the best team they can possibly be.
Yep.
And let's go ahead and get it started. Who are you taking number 1?
Calf.
We are going to set McCaff. Whoops. Close out of this. Manually set. Christian McCaffrey. Number 2, I'm going to take Dalvin Cook.
Okay. Number 3 is going to be
Derrick Henry.
Derrick Henry. Yep.
Number 4, I think, should be Alvin Kamara. Do you think it should be Saquon?
Yeah, but this is your pick to choose.
So Alvin go.
We're going to alternate.
Yes, we are.
So in my 5th pick, I'm taking Barks.
In my 6th pick, I'm putting Troublestein.
And you know what I'm going to do here? Kelsey.
Travis Kelce.
This is the way I think the first 7 should look. I guess it makes sense that we're doing it that way, but because we're alternating, this might look a little different than how each one of us ideals it, but I think that's an accurate
Austin
top
Eckler.
7. Aaron Jones, next up.
Aaron Jones.
He's way too low.
Way too low. Putting Zeke Elliott, number 10.
Okay. I think Tyreek Hill should go here.
Nice. With this pick, I'm gonna put Devontae Adams.
I guess I choose the swing.
Yep.
Which is gonna be Mixon.
Nice. This team needs a running back, so we're gonna take the best available running back, which is gonna be, in my opinion, Cam Akers.
Nice. This team is going to double down with running backs, and they're going to go with Gibson.
Nice. You seem to agree with me. I don't have Jonathan Taylor ranked very high at all.
Not at all. Overrated player.
Here, I don't think Taylor or Jacobs represent the value that I'd like to see in a round 2. And it is tempting to pull the trigger for this team on Hopkins, Metcalf, Thomas Jones. But instead, I'm going to go ahead and take J.K. Dobbins.
Love it. Here, I would say Swift.
The Kelsey team definitely needs a running back.
Are you stuck into choosing one of those 2 high projected guys?
No, I think Jonathan Taylor comes right here.
Okay.
I think this is where right about his value comes.
This team, I think, now opens up the chance for a receiver because there's a lot more value now that running backs have been shipped on hard. So let's take DK Metcalf.
Nice. The Saquon team is going to follow the same approach, and they're going to take AJ Brown.
I was going to take a running back, but because you took AJ, I think Hopkins is hard to pass up here.
The Derrick Henry team. Don't love Michael Thomas, don't love Julio Jones. So they're going to take my next highest rated running back off the board, which is going to be Mr. Christopher Carson.
Nice.
It's funny you're
I
picking
think,
my team.
yeah, it's good because we don't have set teams. We're both doing all the teams.
Yes.
This is hard. I think despite his terrible year, Michael Thomas should go here, and he's probably the next best player.
Somewhat agree. And it's your call. So you're taking him. On your team, I think the running back approach makes sense here. And there's a guy that, if he were healthy, would have had a great season last year in Miles Sanders. I think he makes sense to take right here.
And I think this team should triple down on running back and take a guy who has fallen hard in projections, but not in my term of rankings. Josh Jacobs, he's a third round back.
Nice. Yeah,
and I think that's a fair value for him right here.
Jacobs and Robinson makes sense right here. So you're putting Jacobs here.
Yeah.
And I'm putting, well, I could put Robinson right there. I'm gonna put Najee Harris right here. Just because I think he has high potential. Yeah. I think someone should take a chance on him early in the third round, is what I'm saying.
Yeah. And I think someone should respect what this player did last year at the end of the season and take David Montgomery.
They're saying team 3 right here?
Yeah.
Nice. For team 4, they're gonna need another running back. We're getting low on backs already.
This is how it's gonna look.
Best available is gonna be James Robinson right here.
Yeah. And unfortunately for this team, they don't get the 2 running backs in the first 3. They're kind of stuck taking a quarterback now that maybe Clyde is the best left. So they're going to go with Diggs, who's the best receiver left.
Nice. This team, they've got running back, receiver. Oh, man. And man, tough call, but I think he completely has the value here.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna do.
Yeah, could have gone as early as here, or here. Kittle starts to make sense right after I think Harris and Montgomery go.
Yeah. This team is gonna go for Mahomes.
Even with Kelsey?
Yeah, I think they do that together, specifically
Nice.
because they have Kelsey. That's a solid combo.
Really no risk there. This team has Eckler and Swift. So they're probably going to be taking a receiver. Taking a quick glance, I'm not super high on Clyde. I'm not high on Fournette or Drake. So the next best running back comes down to like Melvin Gordon, Kareem Hunt. And I see them as 5th round guys, 4th round guys. So this team's going to take a receiver. Man. They're going to go with Allen Robinson.
Yeah. Julio is not the guy. Who I think is the guy in this position, though. Can you scroll down? Jefferson.
Nice. He was the other guy I would have taken with Robinson. This team, they also have 2 running backs, so they're going to be taking a receiver. They're going to get riddled with phlebitis.
That's what I was thinking, Jefferson or Ridley. This team, though, they will take the next best running back off the board, who is not Clyde. I think it's Etienne.
Nice. I slightly disagree with you there, but I get it. This team, they have Adams and Mixon, so they're probably going for a running back. And at this point in my mind, it's between Clyde, Melvin Gordon, and Kareem Hunt. And they're going to go ahead and pull the trigger on Clyde.
Okay. Because I don't think Clyde is that good. They're also going to take Gordon as well.
Nice. Makes sense for that team. Here, they've got Akers, Etienne, and Hill. If I were them, I'd want some running back depth. And it's
Gaskin.
between Kareem Hunt and Myles Gaskin for me. I'm gonna go with Myles Gaskin for this team.
Yeah, I don't think Kareem Hunt gives you 4th-round value just because he's a backup.
He was running back 10 last year.
So this team is going to go ahead and take Mike Evans.
Nice. And this team, having 2 solid starting running backs, is going to go ahead and finally pull the trigger on Julio.
They'll regret it the whole season.
I disagree. But
I think Keenan Allen is the next best player here.
nice. Even though they have Eckler, you don't mind taking Allen? Nice.
I think the Chargers offense will produce. I don't think it's.
This team really needs a running back pretty badly. They only have one, and it's the 4th round. And it's between Kareem Hunt.
They have Taylor.
They have Taylor, but they don't have anyone else. So, between Kareem Hunt and Chase Edmonds, weigh in here. Who do you think?
Hunt.
Agree. Your call here?
Can you go to the running backs tab?
I can.
I think they take Drake.
Nice. This team, they've got Barkles, Brown, Diggs, great receivers. They need a running back. Man. Fournette. I'm not so low on Fournette as much as I just think he's limited because of Ronald Jones. Mostert feels risky to me this early. I don't think Gurley's even on the team technically right now.
He's not.
Oh, no way I'm drafting David Johnson in anything before round 6. Chase Edmonds is coming off the board here.
Okay. I think this team is going to take Josh Allen because he was the best quarterback last year. And I think his value does not reflect that in these draft rankings. But he should be the second quarterback off the board well before Lamar.
This team, in my mind, looking real strong here with 3 great running backs, is going to finally pull the trigger on a receiver. And they are going to take Adam Thielen.
I think this team would probably go for Amari Cooper. That's probably their best option, in my opinion.
I think it is too. Don't love Thomas, don't love Cooper, but I mean, legit, they could finish as wide receiver 1 and 2, like they have that kind of upside. This team with 3 backs is also going to take a receiver, and they're going to finally pull the trigger on Chris Godwin or Cooper Kupp.
I think either one that you choose, I would choose the next one in their next pick, so it doesn't matter. So they're going to take Godwin, and then they're going to take Cooper Kupp.
Now I'm picking for team 2. Case to be made here to draft Russell or Dak. 5th round, get a cube. What are the running backs looking like? David Johnson starts to represent value here, being one of the last clear-cut starters on their teams. But I think there's a little more wide receiver value left on the board than not. And they're going to go ahead and take Terry McLaurin, who's one of my favorite receivers coming into this year.
Yeah. And this next team is going to take Tyler Lockett.
Nice. This team, 2 backs, quarterback, and a receiver. They're probably going to go ahead and take a receiver. And they are going to take Robert Woods.
Now, this is where it's tough. And in real life, I have a hard time drafting in this range because
This range messes with me.
you need starters. Like, you can't start jumping the gun on crazy picks, I don't think, but hard to say who's going to be clearly a guy. So I would default to who I would think is going to be given the opportunity to be the guy as much as anyone else, and that's Kenny Galladay, because they're not going to not feed their multi-million-dollar man
Absolutely.
as much as they possibly can.
This team, they got 2 backs, tight end, cube. They're gonna go ahead and take. Man, cubes start falling off the board for me here. I think there's a run of cubes that happens. People go after the good ones, and they're gonna double up DK with Russell.
Nice. Well, the cube train isn't going to leave the station just yet, because before Team 7 double dips in QB, which they won't for a while, they're going to take Mostert because they need,
Nice.
I think, another running back. They don't start taking receivers till the value re-represents where they should be.
Agree. This team, they got 2 backs, 2 receivers, and I think they're gonna go with best available, which to me in my mind is a toss-up between Lamar, Darren Waller, Dak Prescott. Yeah, I think it's one of those guys, and I think they're gonna pull the trigger on Lamar right here.
Okay. I kind of agree. Quarterback should be the next way to go, but I don't think that's how it's going to go down. I think David Johnson is taken here.
Nice. It's a great pick right here. This team, same thing, 2 starting running backs, 2 starting receivers. They have a lot of freedom to do what they want here. And they're going to stretch and pull the trigger on Dak Prescott.
The only reason why I wouldn't have done that is because I think a running back quarterback pair is way less functional than a running back or a receiver quarterback pair.
Sure.
Because they will be pulling points off each other rather than.
Well, actually, let me rethink this. Let me rethink this pick then. Let's say they don't take Dak, then they're taking Darren Waller right here.
Okay. And Dak is going to be the next one off. Team 11.
Team 12 is 3 backs and a receiver. I'm not high on Juju, Fournette, or more. Kyler, someone who go off the board here. Don't love Odell at this high of a stage. They're gonna go ahead and take Kyler right here.
Okay. And with their next pick, you know who they're taking? Lamb.
CeeDee Lamb. Nice. This team, 3 running backs, quarterback, wide receiver. They're probably gonna go wide receiver now. Man, tough pick right here. They're gonna go with Jamar Chase right here.
Nice. This next team is going to go with Cortland Sutton.
Nice. This next team doesn't have a cube yet. And if he was playing, they'd take Deshaun. But since he's not, they're taking Jay Herbs. Two backs, two receivers.
What's that?
I was just saying 2 backs, 2 receivers, and a cube. Who are they taking?
Yeah. Javonte Williams.
Nice. This team, 3 backs, quarterback, receiver, or tight end. Do they take Juju or Odell here? I think they do. I think they take Juju right here.
This team is going to take Damian Harris out of New England.
Nice. This team is going to take Mike Davis from Atlanta.
Nice.
Oops. This team, 2 backs, 2 receivers, and a cube. Who are they taking?
I think they should take.
It's tough, doesn't it?
Hard. Yeah, I'm going to say Devontae Smith or Devonta Smith.
Nice. This team, 3 backs, 2 receivers. They're gonna pull the trigger on Aaron Rodgers.
Nice. A cube could be in the mix, but it's not going to be Deshaun.
It's
Not going to be Burrow. So they're going to wait. And they're going to take Corey Davis.
This team, they're going to be a believer in the upside. They're going to take Odell at the end of the 6th.
Nice.
Fun fact,
And I think now,
I started Odell.
now the value for what?
Oh, fun fact, last year I drafted Odell. I started him in the game where he had 25 points and the game where he had 38 points, traded him and never did anything else. Great trade.
It was a good trade. You traded him twice and traded for him once.
Drafted him, traded back for him, traded him away.
And then he got hurt for the rest of the season because he probably would have found his way back.
He did. Who are you taking here? They got 3 backs, 3 receivers.
I would like to say they take Fournette, but they're not going to because of Godwin. So in lieu of that,
Gets tough,
hard.
doesn't it?
It's very tough. I think they're going to go for the wishy-washy move of Zach Moss.
Moss.
Yep. I'd rather have him than any of the other running backs on that list.
This team, 2 backs, 4 receivers is taken Fournette.
Yeah.
Who actually I think represents really good value right here.
Yeah.
Maybe even before Smith he could have gone, but it's just not the way it rolled.
Yeah.
This team, 3
These guys,
backs,
I think,
receivers, and a
are going to
cube.
take my next top tight end, Noah Fant,
Nice.
and maybe pair him up with Rodgers.
I know a couple days ago you weren't believing me that Rodgers is gone. Dude, Rodgers is gone.
I think he's gone now. I feel it.
He's just not gonna play. He's gonna do Jeopardy. What's gonna happen?
I hope he does. That'd be awesome.
I hope
Also,
he
he
gets
can do
traded.
both because they tape Jeopardy for like 40 days a year.
I hope he gets traded to the Browns because I hate Baker and I love the Browns.
The Browns,
The Browns.
he's never going to go there.
This team, what do they need? Let's see. 2 backs, 3 receivers, and a cube. They're probably taking a peek at the backs here. Man, it is light on backs. They're not taking it back once they take a peek and see how light it is. They're gonna take DJ Moore.
I think this next team, Team 5, has solid receivers.
Yep.
But their second and third running backs are a bit questionable. So they're going to pull a trigger on a very risky pick this high up, but Ronald Jones.
Nice. Thought about that for the last team. This team, Chubb, Drake Harris, little light on back, Metcalf, Wilson, awesome. Love those guys. So they can kind of go just best available. They already have Kittle, so they're not going to take Andrews. They're going to risk it, and they're going to go. Will Fuller.
Nice.
Yeah.
And this team could use a second receiver, and clearly, I think the next best one is T. Higgins.
Completely agree. Higgins could have gone here. Just this team took the risky approach. This team has 2 backs that I love, 2 receivers that I love, a cube that I love, a risky third back. So they're probably going to steer away from taking more back risk for now. And they're going to take best available, which is going to be DJ Chark. See how he does with Etienne or with Lawrence.
I think this team has a lock on its skill positions, and would like to take what they think is going to be a solid tight end throughout the rest of the year, Mark Andrews.
Nice. This next team, 2 easy starting backs, receivers. Sutton has good value here, so they can kind of go best available. They don't have a cube, and they're going to do the cube combo with TD.
All right. 3 backs already taken. They've got their guy Prescott. I think they go for a really solid guy who can always be a flex play, Jarvis Landry.
Nice. This team, great receiver, great back. The value starts to drop off a bit, and then a good cube and a good receiver. They don't have a tight end, and they're going to take the chance on Kyle Pitts having a breakout rookie season.
Nice. So this next round represents the last round where most starters will be taken, because teams should have 2 running backs, 2 receivers, 2 flexes, a quarterback, and a tight end at this point. That's what will be filled up by the end of the 8th. So I think after the end of this round, we'll call it, because there's not much more we can do besides jumping on,
We're just trying to show
high risk players.
The spread for how teams in a very competitive league would look kind of balanced across the board without really silly team construction from these auto draft picks.
Yeah. And I think it's realistic, because I've had ease drafting in Sleeper, but it's not as easy in real life. You get to the 5th and you are lost.
Yeah.
And that's what happened here.
You get to the 3rd and you're like, I don't know what to do, because the guys I wanted are gone.
Yeah.
So with the final pick for this team, who are you taking?
It's going to be their last flex guy. I'm just not sure who fills the role best.
Yep.
It's probably going to be the last clear number 1 wideout. I don't love the player. I think his situation is awful on his team, but he will get the looks. Brandon Cooks.
The looks. This team is pretty well balanced. And they're gonna go with a guy they see as having high upside. We have dramatically different opinions on this guy. Deontay Johnson.
Yeah.
One of the only guys we really disagree on. Yeah,
Yeah.
who's going here?
Despite the terrible lack in running back value left on the board, I think they kind of reach for this player, but Tony Pollard.
Pair him up with Zeke.
Yeah.
Nice. This team has actually pretty solid running backs, pretty solid receivers, good cube and a good tight end. So they're just taking best available. Scrolling a little bit. Scrolling. Do they take TY with Carson Wentz? Maybe he has a revival.
Maybe.
They take TY.
It's hard to love anyone, but if you can love a guy for his personality, it's Rob Gronkowski.
Backs, receivers. This team probably needs some more receiverage. Getting light. They're gonna take Robbie Anderson.
Yeah. This team could also use a receiver, and they're going to go with Marquis Brown.
This team needs a cube and a tight end. Let's see who's available at cube. Assuming Watson's out. Burrow, Cousins, Lawrence. They're probably not taking a cube. This team is probably waiting to take a cube. And they're going to take TJ Hawkinson.
This team really needs a running back. They've got all their positions filled besides tight end, but Hawkinson out. They're going to wait because they can. And they're going to go for a running back who could start, who I think is a good pick here, Michael Carter.
This team, they've got probably one of the best running back rooms of all these teams. Good receivers, good cube, good tight end. So they're just taking best available. They're going to roll with high upside risk pick in Jalen Waddle right here.
Nice. All right, and with your OG team, team 2, you could use a quarterback or a tight end. They could go anywhere with this pick. And I think you might disagree, but I'm saying Jalen Hurts.
Right on. Well, this team is taking a similar approach, and they're taking Cam Newton.
All right.
All right.
Let's have a look.
Let's have a look. Let's analyze each team and give them like a letter grade for how competitive we think they're going to be in this league.
Okay.
So team 1.
Let's go down the. I think it's easier if you look at their roster.
Agree. All right. So we're going to go to team 1, which is Gabriel Brady.
Newton, McCaffrey, Sanders, Godwin, Cup, Jacobs, Odell Beckham. I think I would give them a B. Good running backs, but not too much else to write home about. And their running backs could be terrible if Sanders and Jacobs and McCaffrey all have a similar season to last year.
I'm going to give them a C+. Because I think they'll be slightly, with C being the average, I think they'll be slightly above average because of the strength of McCaff, Cup, and Godwin.
So overall B- then.
I guess they get a
to
B-.
merge our scores.
Team 2, Hurts,
Najee.
Cook, Harris, Thomas, Cooper, McLaurin, Davis, Foreman. But
I would give this team a C+.
I would also give this team a C+.
Okay.
Team 3.
This team gets an A for me. I think
Yep.
it's solid all the way throughout.
Straight up A.
Maybe actually I give them an A+.
I agree. This is
I don't
pretty
think
much
there's a better. This is the only team that did the 3 running backs first 3 picks.
not true. Your team, team 1 did.
You're right. Okay. This is the only other team that did, and I think it's indisputably the best strategy if you can do it, if it makes sense
what
to
we're
do it.
saying is we think that instead of Josh Jacobs, team 1 should have taken David Montgomery, looking back.
No, I
No.
disagree.
You just think being in the position to get someone like Carson on the swing back in round 2 makes that much of a difference, huh?
Yeah.
The advantage
And
of
I think-
McCaff over Henry doesn't outweigh the advantage of Carson over Sanders. Correct.
I think Jacobs' team is probably going to be better. Jacobs being drafted ahead of him makes more sense.
Yes.
But I just have high hopes for Montgomery.
This team is about the best team you could construct with the first 8 picks in a competitive 12-team league.
I think it's really good.
Yep.
I think it's the highest grade I can give, A+.
A+ as well. Moving on to team 4.
I really like this team. I'm going to give them an A-.
I'm also giving them an A- because I think their strength of flex and strength of bench doesn't come close to what team 3 has. But definitely this team is better than the first 2 teams.
Yeah. Having a solid quarterback strengthens them a lot.
It does. And these top 4 are all, I would say, guys you want to start every week.
Yeah.
So the strength of this top 5 will carry this team through the season, even if they have holes in the rest of their roster. Team 5. Probably the only team here without a quarterback.
And I think it's probably a C- for me. I think that's the struggle of picking in the middle, and early middle, because when you're coming back around, if you don't go running back, and you take one of the top receivers, I think it makes your team come off as a lot less strong. And that's kind of what I'm seeing here.
Yeah. Oh, I'm gonna sneeze.
Although,
I'm
yeah, C- is my grade.
gonna give it a B-, because I think this is a powerhouse trio. AJ Brown, Stephon Diggs, Kenny Golladay. I don't think we're accrediting the strength of that versus, for example, team 2, who had, or team 3, who we gave an A++, but had Thielen, Lockett. Brown, Diggs, Golladay is better than Thielen, Lockett. Like, hands
Sure.
down.
But I think the Edmonds, Mike Davis duo really, really dragged them down.
Of course he does. That's why I'm giving them a B- instead of U. So I think that comes out to a C+ in the middle there. Team 6. Interesting.
I'm gonna give it a flat C. DK Wilson combo, great. Chubb and Kittle, great. And Harris, I think, has good value, but with Drake and Fuller and Brown, I think they could really disappoint.
We're gonna have weeks where this team falls off. I'm gonna actually give this team a D+. Chubb and Kittle and Wilson will win you a couple weeks, but there's gonna be weeks where you need Fuller, Harris, and Brown to all hit, and they won't. This team is gonna lose a lot of games. So I'm gonna give them a D+. basically their running back strength isn't enough to keep up with the rest of the league, and they didn't get high enough caliber of receivers to make it worth it.
Yeah. Struggle when you take a tight end in that position over a running back or a receiver.
Really is. Which leads us to team 7, the one who took Kelsey.
Yeah, I was about to say, speaking of, I think they look a lot better, and I think that's maybe just namesake of having Mahomes lead off. But he's the most famous player for a reason.
I mean, he's the best quarterback in the league.
Yeah. This one, I'm going to give it another C.
I'm going to give this one a B-, because I think Jonathan Taylor and Kareem Hunt and Raheem Mostert represent slightly above average running back room for a 12-team league. And I think Juju and T. Higgins and Robbie Anderson represent significantly below average receiver value. However, the powerhouse combo of Mahomes Kelsey balances it out to where I think this team is slightly better than the average team. So I guess that comes out to a C+. Team 8.
Now I like this team. I'm going to give them a B+. I think their running back top 2 and receiving top 2 will keep them in most games.
Absolutely.
And if Lamar pops off, which he can, and we've seen him do a lot, they'll start to crush. And I think they're pretty solid.
Agree. They these top 5 players are really solid.
Yeah.
So I agree with the B+. Team 9. Ooh.
This one I'm going to say C. I think they're kind of middle of the road everywhere.
Yeah.
I don't see anyone on their team really finishing top 5 in their position, which is not necessarily a death sentence for fantasy, but I think they would need to have great bench players to have a chance to win a league.
Giving this team a C as well, I agree. This kind of represents the perfect middle of the road team in the league. Kind of medium solid all across the board. Oh, we were looking at team 9. Team 10.
Brady, Elliott Gibson, Ridley Evans.
I'm gonna give this team a C- right off the bat.
I was going to say C+, just because I really like the running back, room.
Yeah.
I think it carries them. And I think despite, the weak quarterback and flex positions,
Yeah.
the rest of it looks pretty good. So they're 2 running backs, 2 receivers, and tight end. Keep them alive with hopes.
Nice. Comes out to a C then. And I guess team 11 now.
Ooh, I'm going to say A-. I like this team.
I'm gonna say B+.
Okay. I'm high on Dak. You might not be so high on Akers, but I can totally see him being top 5.
My problem with this team is Etienne being, I wouldn't play him here. You'd have Myles Gaskin. So Cam Akers, Myles Gaskin, fine. And then Tyreek Jarvis, fine. And your flexes end up being Etienne and Jamar Chase. I don't know if I can give that an A.
I think I can.
You know what? I changed my mind. A minus with you. This is a good team.
Yep.
And
All right,
select.
last team. Let's see how they did. Murray, Mixon, Clyde, Adams, Lamb. B plus.
I'm gonna give this one a C minus.
Really?
Yeah.
We're very off on
Don't
our
love
judgments.
Kyler. Don't love Clyde. Don't love Lamb. Don't love Gordon. Don't love Cooks. Just all players that I can envision regressing significantly this year, and it wouldn't surprise me at all.
Fair. But also, I think I'm seeing more of the opposite because I can all see them at least staying the same or taking a step up. Because
Sure.
Clyde, he had a pretty bad season last year, but they have very little competition.
Kinda. They signed Jerick McKinnon.
We saw his role last year. He was nothing more than kind of a gadget player.
I think Clyde finished as running back something like 20 last year. I think we're probably all a little lower on him than we need to be. Well, there you have it. Seems like our winner by far was Team 3.
Team 3. And I think we saw this the beginning and the end.
Yep.
Best grades. Right in the middle there, all mediocre to below average.
Yep, these teams had like B, B, A, and then kind of C, 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 C across the board. An A slipped in right here, and then kind of higher grades on the ends. It is tough to be in the middle. I think this reaffirms my strategy that even if I'm sitting here with Chubb and DK sitting here, I'm taking Chris Carson. Same with Saquon and Brown sitting here, I'm taking Miles Sanders.
Yeah.
I think unless, man, it's hard to say you'd take Dobbins over Devontae Adams, but the way the teams fall, like I think this team is better than this team. So like,
I think then you might take Cam Akers over Devontae Adams.
it's true.
Who knows?
Well,
I think we did the best we could.
It reemphasizes that your wide receiver 1 is worth less than your RB2, I think is what we're trying to say.
Mm-hmm.
Unless it's Kelsey, Hill, Adams. That's it. Those 3 are the only ones that should be drafted outside of the first 2 rounds, I think.
Yeah. And although we said that last draft, even doing it, it was hard for us to fulfill that.
Yeah, I think we gotta stick to our draft strategy more when it comes down to both of us and make sure we have our running back ranks really clear on our list. It's easy to second guess yourself if you're looking at like Swift at the end of the second round versus like AJ Brown and thinking AJ Brown's going to score more points than him. That's like, yeah, but that other running back you're going to put there is going to score so many less than Swift. It's not worth it, right?
Yeah.
It's hard to think ahead like that.
Absolutely. Okay. Well, thanks for tuning in. Hope you enjoyed our special episode. And
manual drafting, a deep look into the fantasy minds of the 2 best teams from last year, the finalists.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
watch and learn, folks.
Stay sweet. And this has been the Gridiron.